Problem 5 states, what is the least positive integer that has only ones and zeros as digits and is a multiple of 75? Problem number 5 is actually a very tricky problem because there is some sort of trick to finding out how to do the problem. However, it also doesn't have a formula and it requires a lot of guesswork if you don't know how to approach the problem. So what I did was I first listed all the things that the problem asked. It needs to be a multiple of 75, only ones and zeros, smallest number. They don't want any random number. They want the smallest possible number that satisfies the first two conditions. So to find any multiple of 75 and to have ones and zeros, I'm first going to start by seeing the last two digits of 75. So 75 times 0 gives us last two digits of 0. 75 times 1 gives us 75. 75 times 2 gives us 50. 75 times 3 gives us 25. You might be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, for any number, there is a certain pattern for the last two digits. And you do this by solving for each of the numbers. You first start with any digit you would like, and you keep going until the pattern repeats. Now, if I do 75 times 4, you will notice that the last two digits are 0, 0. That's why I stopped with the 3, because the pattern will already repeat. Why I'm doing this is because it's important to automatically rule out which possibilities that I need for the ones and zeros. Because 75 times 1 gives me the last two digits of 75, we know that this can't be one of the numbers because the only digits we are allowed to use are 1 and 0. Same with 2 and 3. So we cross these out and we know that the number has to end in 0, 0. This gives us somewhat of a better idea of what number it could be. If the number has to end in 0, 0, and we know that this pattern repeats every 4 numbers, we know that the number has to be a multiple of 4. Knowing this, we can further narrow down our choices. So we know it's a multiple of 4. We know it only has ones and zeros. Now, I'm going to quickly prime factor 75. Three times 5 squared. So we've already covered the 5 squared because we know that 0, 0, if it ends in 0, 0, it's a multiple of 5. Now, what about the 3? As our divisibility rules state, for any number to be a multiple of 3, the sum of the digits has to be a multiple of 3. We know that this number has to be a multiple of 3 because it has to be a multiple of 75, and 75 is a multiple of 3. Therefore, the only numbers that will give me a multiple of 3 are 1, 1, and 1. Because 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3, and that is a multiple of 3. And this also is the only set of numbers that satisfies this condition of using only ones and zeros. Because we want the smallest number possible, we don't need to add anything else. Our number, therefore, is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. This problem is probably one of the trickiest that you'll encounter on the chapter level for targets, but also if you break it down into components and think it through logically and list out the necessary conditions that you need to meet, it's very easy to solve.